Soar Without Limits Enterprises presents the Triple E Podcast, a show dedicated to empowering women to elevate, expand, and explore their mindsets. I am your host, Monique Pearson, best-selling author, mindset coach, international speaker, and travelologist. Are you ready to transform your life? Join us monthly for inspiring stories and actionable tips so that you can soar without limits. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Triple E Podcast, where we help women to elevate, expand, and explore their mindsets spiritually, mentally, physically, as well as financially. And for those who may not know me, I am your host, Monique Pearson. I am super excited to be before you this evening, and I have an awesome guest. Well, actually, some of you may recognize her. She was here with us in season 1, and she's back again for season 2, the Triple E Podcast. We have Miss Lisa Anderson with us. So for those who may not be acquainted with her, let me go ahead and give you all an intro, her bio, and then we're going to bring Lisa up with us so we can get started with our conversation for today. So Lisa is a strategic HR executive, a leadership coach, an author, and a speaker with over 30 years of experience in helping professionals elevate their careers. From the early days as a recruiter to serving as a chief HR officer, she has gained expertise in HR strategy, mergers and acquisitions, as well as cultural integration and leadership development. So Lisa has spent more than 56,000, yes, I said 56,000 hours mentoring and coaching individuals. So yes, she knows what she's talking about, folks, guiding them to align their careers with their values and leadership aspirations. Lisa is also the author and the creator of the book and program, Invisible Professional to Influential Leader. She empowers women leaders to step out of the shadows into the positions of confidence and authority. Her work is deeply personal, rooted in her own journey of overcoming invisibility in the workplace. As one of the few women and the only woman of color in executive spaces, Lisa understands those challenges of finding one's voice and establishing credibility. She now dedicates her work to helping others navigate these barriers, equipping them with the tools and the build leadership courage, as well as executive presence and influence. Lisa holds a master's degree in human resource management from Troy State University and a BBA from James Madison University. She also carries top HR certifications, including SHRM, SCP, and SPHR, and is a certified professional coach with an Energy Leadership Index Master Practitioner credential. She's also a member of the prestigious John Maxwell team of speakers and trainers, and she brings a wealth of knowledge and inspiration to her audiences. Beyond coaching and HR leadership, Lisa is an advocate for women in business and technology. She has been actively involved in women in technology and was a founding member of the Human Resources Society of Prince George's County and a former adjunct instructor at the Prince George's Community College and the University of Maryland Global Campus. She continues to share her expertise through workshops and speaking engagements. And when she isn't out there coaching or developing leadership programs, Lisa enjoys traveling, disco, roller skating, and working out with her Zumba community. So without further ado, let's bring Lisa up to the Triple E stage. Well, hello, Lisa. Welcome back. How are you doing?
Hello, Monique. Ooh, that was a earful.
The people needed to hear it, though. The people needed to hear it. That's why I think a lot of times are that person. You are that woman. We're going to give you all of your flowers, Lisa. We are not going to cut or shrink your bio. You earned that. You have been in the
Thank
game
you.
for over 30 years. So, of course, you're going to got a lot to serve and give
Yes,
to the people.
yes, indeed, girl. Look, lots of lessons learned, lots of, long time.
Yeah, so I know we can't give them 30 years of experience in 30 minutes, but we're going to give them what we can during our segment here. So
Absolutely.
we are happy to have you back and learn about all the new updates that you have had since the last time you were on. I think it's been almost close to a year that
Yes.
you were on the first season, if I
Yes,
recall correctly.
I think it was this time last year. And,
Hmm.
a lot can happen in a year, but I'm super excited, to be back. So thank you for having me back.
Yeah, so for those who may not seen your first episode, can you just give us a little bit about your journey, how you went from a recruiter to the chief HR officer, and what
Mhm.
made you go into leadership coaching?
Sure. So, being in HR, I have a passion for it. And I started my career as a recruiter. But very early on, I knew I wanted to become a generalist and not specialize. So, early on in my career, I moved out of the recruiting and went into being what they call nowadays the HR business partner, where
Mm-hmm.
you're, aligned to the company's business. And I enjoy that role, and I just continue to elevate and promote up through the ranks.
Mm-hmm.
And from manager to director, to from director to vice president, and then vice president to the C-suite. But just have a passion for it, and then probably just like other women, you get to a
Right.
point in your career where you're like, okay, I've been there and done that. What's next? And so
Mm.
I did that evaluation, like, okay, you're climbing, you're climbing. Well, what's next? And I look back over the things that I enjoy about my positions and my
Mm-hmm.
roles. And the one thing I love, every leadership position I've been in, I love developing my team.
Mm-hmm.
Really enjoy that. So that's when I decided, okay, let me look into this coaching thing, and let me go after and get my coaching certification, because I really really enjoy this part of my of all the positions that I've been in. And now I'm passionate about it because I have focused now directly onto the women leaders that are
Mm-hmm.
going through the similar things that I went through as I was growing my career. So I'm coaching
Mm.
the young me, the
You
younger
said you.
me, and not young in age, the younger me as far as in my career, right?
Right.
And so, because people make lateral moves and stuff, but I'm telling you, I love, because I was like, wow, if I had a coach that could have helped
Mm-hmm.
me through some of these experiences, being the only woman in the room with the
Mm-hmm.
male dominated, I'm in a male dominated environment, I'm in the tech space. And there's a lot of times where early on I was the only female in the room, and 9 times out of 10, I was the only person of color in the room. And, I went through some things.
Yeah, so why you brought that up, that was what I was going to go into. As one of the few women of color and the only woman in the room, how did that shape how you learn to use your voice in those spaces?
Well, it took me losing my voice before I realized, like, whoa, right? So once I was promoted from the director level to the vice president level. I had
Mm-hmm.
been with the company for 5 years and then I got promoted. But with that promotion, I had to switch divisions. It was a bigger
Mm-hmm.
company. And they said, Lisa, if you want the VP, you're going to have to leave your comfortable space that you've been in
Mm-hmm.
5 years, where you built credibility, the people, and
Mm-hmm.
now we're gonna put you over here, a new business, different type of business, a different division, different type of business model, and brand new people that I didn't know.
Right.
And that's when I lost my voice. So I started showing up. It was very specific for me. I started showing up in meetings, sitting quiet with nothing to say, even though in my head I was having all kinds of meetings, right? I was contributing, I was adding value, all of that, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't coming out of my mouth. And I'm sitting in the meetings, right? And my brand, I do a lot of work with women about what's your leadership brand. Well, guess what? My brand was strong because I got the promotion. So the people in that room had heard about me.
Right. And now
And
they're
so now,
experiencing you and wondering,
right,
like, where the Lisa at that we heard about?
that's exactly what happened. They were like, who is
Mm,
this? Who is this? Because this ain't the person that we heard about that was over there that was doing all kinds of great things. We're experiencing a different person
mm,
because I got in the room, and a lot of women deal with this imposter syndrome. You start questioning whether you belong in the room, and you remember this is my first VP role, so that so the inner voice was loud in my head, like, oh, wait a minute.
So
And
let's
so
pause right there, Lisa, because I don't want to miss this point. So when you have a woman who is entering a new space, she's moving up exactly on trajectory with her career goals. What would you say in hindsight 2020 if you had a coach moving into that position as the new VP, how to best prepare you to walk into those new rooms and make sure that you're showing up as your authentic self in that new space?
And look, this, Monique, this is the work that I'm currently doing with women. The first thing
Mm-hmm.
I would tell anyone is get clarity on your top 5 values, because you're going
Mm-hmm.
to need to have that to anchor yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
see, that's the thing that I lost, because
Mm,
I'm in that room sitting uncomfortable, like quiet,
right.
and I couldn't put my finger on that. I didn't know what was going on because I was like, whoa, this is different for me. But I'm sitting there quiet. And one of my top values is connection.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sitting in a meeting, not connecting with anyone in the room.
Mm,
And now at the time when you're in it, like when you're in the movie, like I
right.
didn't understand it, right? 'Cause I was like, oh, what's happening? What's going on? But now that I'm out of it and I was able to shift out of it, and then when you roll
Right.
the tape back, you're like, why did I go through that? And I wasn't honoring one of my top values, which is connection, right?
That's good.
So that's the clarity work that
Mm-hmm.
women, we need to do, because you got to get crystal clear and clarity on those top values. And we all live by a lot of values, but this is a exercise that this is one of the first exercise I do with my women, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's
Mm-hmm.
get clarity, because this is your anchor, and this is what's going to help you stay true to you.
That's good. I think I would have never correlated that far as going it and tying it into our values. But if you
Mhm.
want to get more insight on that, those ladies who are moving up in your careers and the best prepared, they say every coach needs a coach. So we definitely
Oh,
going to
yes.
make sure we share with Lisa's contact info so you can get more. But I definitely want to make sure we get to cover a couple more bases. And we're going to have a little exercise for you guys that I feel is going to be helpful a little bit midway here in our talk today. So, Lisa, what's one belief that women need to release if they want to stop shrinking, and start leading?
Yeah. So the one big message I would tell women is, when you're trying to have visibility,
Mm-hmm.
visibility is not about volume. It's not about getting in rooms or getting in your project teams and trying to be the loudest,
Mm,
because that happens sometimes. As women, we get frustrated sometimes. Nobody's
mm-hmm.
listening to us. I can't get my position out there. So I'm gonna get loud and over talk everybody, because I'm trying to get my idea on the
Out there.
table, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to get my perspective out there.
Mm-hmm.
And the one big thing I'll tell you, visibility is not about volume. It's about clarity. It's about being intent on how you want to show up, right?
Mm.
So, because I hear this from a lot of women, especially introverts, they're not going to be the loudest person in the room,
Right.
right? Introverts are gonna, they're processing, sitting back, and they're like looking at, they're processing information. So if it was all about volume, then a lot of people wouldn't even, introverts, a lot of, and the extroverts would have the room, because we're
Right.
going kiki all over the place, right? But the introverts is different. So sometimes when you have that volume and you're out there being the loudest, you're being loud, but you're not being influential.
But what does that look like? What does clarity look like, since you're telling us that's what we need to project? But how is that portrayed, or how is
Yeah.
that illustrated?
Yeah. So what clarity looks like is being intent. If you decide for yourself that the way you want to build credibility and influence through your expertise, it's not about being the loudest in the room. It's really about knowing your stuff, coming to that table or coming to the project team or whatever, or dealing
Mm-hmm.
with your manager or supervisor or whatever the environment is, and showing up authentic to you. So,
Mm.
authentically, if you're not the loud person, you're not going to show up like that. But
Right.
you have to learn and get clarity about how you want to show up, and then you demonstrate that, and that's how your voice gets out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to be the loudest person, and that's not even you, right? That's not even your makeup. I can tell you it's going to be exhausting and
They say,
burnout.
yeah, no one can be the best version of you but you. So it's authenticity, going back and being
Authenticity.
who you. Yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely.
authenticity, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I encourage, because some people, some women specifically, like, well, I don't want to be visible. I want to be in the shadow. And sometimes it is because they have that misconception that visibility means that I have to be the loudest person in the room, and that's not me.
Mm. Right.
So I don't want that. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, no, 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 you can be visible. And when you speak, your voice carries so much weight and credibility that you don't even have to say anything. The people in the room will be like, what does Lisa, what are your points?
Mm. What's that? Who is that? Eisenhower. That said when he speaks, the people listen because they come with such profoundness. It's not about the volume, as you said, of what they say, but it's what they say that carries such a weighted stick. That's what I'm hearing from
Yes.
what you just shared with us.
And growing my career, I saw that firsthand with a boss, one of my bosses, and she's my mentor to this day. I had never seen a woman come into a room and this at the highest level. And I never forget, she got caught on a call, and there was a
Mm-hmm.
meeting, the CEO, president, everybody's in the room, and they would not start the meeting until she got there.
Oh,
And
I know that's right.
as an HR professional, like, I'm like, whoa, they were like, wait a minute, where's so and so? We were like, oh, she's on another call. She's handing. They were like, okay, we'll wait.
For her, now that's influence right there. That is
That's what
impact.
I saw it
Mm-hmm.
firsthand. And then I was like, whoa, they needed her at the table. They didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
start the meeting. They valued her perspective. They were
Mm.
like, no, they were like, oh no, we'll wait 10 minutes. We'll wait a couple minutes until she comes, and then we can start the meeting.
Yes. Mm.
Wow.
That's weighing a heavy stick right there. I like that.
Yeah.
But
So
Lisa, you have had some exciting developments since the last time that you have been with us. So I would love for you to share with us all about the voice playbook. What inspired you to create it, and what problem were you seeing over and over that made you come up with this new offering? I would love for you to share with the audience what that is.
yes. So I'm super excited about this, because what was happening, I was running across a lot of women that had confidence,
Mm-hmm.
but The one thing that they struggle with is like, Lisa, I know my stuff. I have the expertise, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I struggle with speaking up in the room. Sometimes I don't, I can, and when I say speaking up, I don't have the words, right? Like,
Mm.
I know what I want to say, but I'm afraid to put it out because it's going to come out a certain way,
Right.
or I'm not eloquent in it. And I'm like, look, you first of all, you don't want to be, you don't want to be like scripted because you can't, like in certain situations.
Uh-huh.
But there's some key words or sentences that you can use and make it your own,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it has to be authentic to you. And so then I started coming up with different, like the scenarios that I was hearing. Like, for example, how do I speak up in meetings just in general? I'm trying to get my position on the table and the room is hot. I call it hot because everybody got opinions and the
Right. Going back
conversation
and
is
forth.
going. And you're like, like what they call double Dutch, where you're trying to get in and you like,
Yeah, you keep hopping, going back and forth, and you just ain't getting in between them ropes.
yeah.
Ah,
So that came up. Another one that came up, and I think we're going to talk about this one. What if somebody I call it hijack. What if somebody hijack your idea?
mm,
Next thing you put something out on the table, I've seen it's happened to me, and I'm sure it's happened to a lot of women. You say an idea, somebody come, usually a male, comes by, takes the idea, put a few different words to it. Next thing you know, it's now his idea. And everybody in the room is like, oh, great idea, John.
mm.
And it's like, wait a minute. That's the same thing I just said.
Hold up. So what we're gonna do, Lisa, is we're gonna be running the playbook live and in person. I would love for us to enact 2 exercises to give women a practical way as to how they can handle these situations. So let me set the play for you guys.
Okay.
Lisa is going to be in a boardroom and she's speaking, and I'm consider me a man with a very light voice, and I
Mhm.
am going to speak over her and interrupt her while she's speaking. And
Mm.
at that point, we're going to take a pause, and I'm going to throw it back to Lisa to tell us how you should best handle a situation like that. So that's going to set up our first scenario. So we're in the boardroom, Lisa, and you're chatting.
Okay. Well, look, I would love for us to, have this project. One thing that I can present is that my team is doing X, Y, and Z.
Well, I
And
would love to tell you about what my team is doing. We have just started off an awesome project here today, and I'm
I,
super excited to bring forth what we have going on, Bob.
I'm sorry, one more thought, and then I'll pause, and then you can absolutely have the floor.
Oh, go ahead, Lisa.
Thank
Lisa,
you.
let's pause here and go over the playbook. Explain to us what just happened there and what the lady should try to think of if they have a situation such as
Yes,
that.
because that happens a lot. That what we just went through. You're sharing your idea. Someone comes in, interrupts you, and tries to take the floor. So
Mm-hmm.
now you can do one more thought, and then I'll pause, and then you can have the floor. Right? Another one. Please let me finish framing this, and then absolutely take the floor.
I like that. It's not confrontational, but I hear like you hear me speaking and I'm going to finish what I have to say, and it's firm.
You're directing the room. You're not
Mm-hmm.
asking for permission.
Right.
You notice I didn't use the words, I'm sorry, let me fit. Mm-mm. It's
Mm-mm.
very pointed, right?
Mm-hmm.
One more thought, and then I'll pause, and then you can have the floor, right?
Right.
So it's not, and you're not attacking, or you can say, before we move on, clarification, ABC, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so you're taking the power back so you can finish your thought, and then you're please have the floor, right?
Right.
But again, you're not asking for permission to speak.
I like that.
So
So, all right,
that's
ladies, make sure you run this back the next time someone tries to take over before you get to finish your point. So, we're going to give
yes.
you one more practical example. Lisa is now projecting to the board about a new initiative that she has put forth and is projecting for the board to run with. I am going to come in and try to claim credit for her
Mm.
initiative. So, Lisa, there you go.
Okay, hold on. All right. So we are working on XYZ project. I am super excited because the results that me and my team, we've been able to deliver are, A, B, C. The customer is pretty super excited about this new product that we've built.
Well, we took that XYZ project and added some enhancements, which I think is going to take it to the next level. We've done this with it, we've done this with it, and we've been out there getting feedback from some of the other teams, and everyone loves it. I'm super proud of what my team has been able to do with the XYZ project, and we're super excited where we're going to take it.
I am so
Lisa?
glad that you are super excited. But let me add a bit more context about the recommendation that I shared earlier that you just, kind of came in. Great that your team had different enhancements to it, but my team set the foundation for A, B, C, and D.
So, Lisa, break down for us what just happened here and how we should take. What's the playbook say about
Yeah,
someone trying to
you're
hijack your work?
you're reclaiming the ownership, right? This
Mm-hmm.
person has come in and tried to and this happens so much, try to steal the thunder, right? They're coming in, and okay, I'm acknowledging your team, added some pieces to it, but let's not forget, I started with this recommendation, got approval, so you're reclaiming the ownership. Now you're doing it in a way where you're not like accusing. You're not accused. You're not saying you just hijacked my idea, right? So
Right.
there's some power, political savviness, and
Mm-hmm.
that goes with that, right? Because everybody in the room that's probably witnessing is like, "Oh, he just hijacked her idea," but you don't even have to say it, right? But you're reclaiming ownership without correcting them in public, right? Like correcting them in that setting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it keeps happening, you might have to, escalate to your supervisor, or if it's you and that person on the same level, you might have to pull them to the side and be like, hey, can we talk about this, behind
Mm.
one on
Right.
one. But in a public setting, if you're in a meeting like that, you're trying to reclaim the ownership back
Mm.
to you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm.
Because next thing you know, once that idea is hijacked, sometimes it never comes back to you. And then
Right.
that person walks away with all the credit.
Right. Yep, evaluation time. That's gonna be all up and down. You're gonna be looking like, what just happened here? So that's
Exactly.
good. I like that. I hope that our audience can find value in this, like giving them illustrations. I like that, giving them examples of moving forward. So we're coming to an end. I can't believe our time is coming to a close already,
Yes.
man.
This
So
time
you
always go by so fast.
I was like, boom. So if you can leave the audience with one message about using their voice, what
Yeah.
would that be?
So my message is, I'm going to go back to my original message, right? My message is focus on clarity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, when I do executive presence work, it's not about being more assertive, because some people connect that. Like if I need to be an executive, I need to be more assertive. It's really not about that. It's really
Mm,
about anchoring who you are, right? And
mm-hmm.
being true to you. And you get to decide how you show up and be intentional about it. And
Mm-hmm.
because that's the best way for you to feel authentic about you, right? Showing up as you, because being anybody else is exhausting. um
Yeah.
but then it also allows other people around you to accept you for who
Mm-hmm.
you are, right? And then if they don't accept you for the value that you bring to the table, your contributions, your expertise, if they don't value that or they don't accept that, then you have to evaluate, am I in the right place?
Right, right. Mm, there you go, guys. Heard it first. So,
Mhm.
Lisa, we have some people who want to connect with you or they want to learn more about the new offering that you have, the Voice Playbook. Where can they connect with you and where can they find out more?
So I am on all the platforms. I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, Positively in Pursuit, which is the name of my business. And then Monique, I'll make sure that we drop the link for the Voice Playbook, because if anyone's interested in that, we did just 2 role plays, but the
Mm-hmm.
playbook has over 30 power phrases for
Wow.
different scenarios. So it's setting boundaries, how to advocate for yourself, how to speak up in the meetings. Like, so we, so the playbook has power phrases for a lot more different situations. But also the power, I don't want to discount this part. Um, the playbook gets into some of the mindset stuff, inner critic
Mm-hmm.
versus inner leader.
Mm. Give us
Yes,
up those nuggets on them. So y'all make sure to check in the show notes. We're going to have how you can connect with Lisa
yes.
and how you can get your copy of the Voice Playbook. So Lisa, it has been a pleasure. Thank you for coming back and sharing with us and giving our ladies some nuggets that they can use in the boardrooms. We definitely appreciate it.
Thank you for
So
having me.
yes. Audience, make sure if you have not hit subscribe that you subscribe to the Triple E podcast channel. We do not want you to miss any upcoming exciting episodes because we'll have more gems to drop on you. So until the next episode, we will see you then.